Привет, comrades. TFCom here. And there it is, centered. Okay. I got my test results back today. If you don't remember, about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I was being tested for bipolar. And I haven't made any updates on that because I just got the results back today. And yeah, I mean, I don't even know how to phrase it. But yes, I do have it. And on the 7th, I have an appointment to start on medication, which is good or bad, depending on how you look at it. Bad because I, have a disorder and it's not something that goes away. But good because now I can start taking care of it. I can get the medication I need, or I can just feel better about it. I know that it's not that, I'm just crazy or weird or anything. I legitimately have a disorder, and I can't control when it gets manic. I'm not just irresponsible and spending money all over the place, and that's a good thing to know. But yeah, it's official. And I've asked a lot of questions on it about medication and such because if you guys don't remember, I did try before to get on mood stabilizers, which is the typical bipolar medication. It's supposed to prevent your highs from being as high and prevent your lows from being as low. Sometimes you're still a little higher or a little lower than the average person, sometimes you're average, but it's always a lot better than it was. Now, for me, that did not work well at all. It made my highs go down, which is great, but my lows stayed the same, and that was really bad because, it always evens itself out, like, yeah, I'm insanely depressed now, but at least things will be perfect in a week or two, and I'll feel amazing. But it prevented me from feeling amazing, so it just made me basically have depression, and that was clearly not good. For me, it felt like I was more depressed than before. Maybe I was, maybe it was just because I didn't have the happiness factor. But for me, it felt like I was more depressed. So I stopped on that. And that was a bad experience, because first of all, I got medication without being tested, which is very dangerous. I just went to my doctor and was like, I want bipolar medicine. She's like, okay, here you go. And that's literally all it took. It took like 5 seconds. She says I didn't even need to make an appointment if I didn't want to. I could have done it over the phone, which is very dangerous, and a lot of doctors do that, unfortunately, for any mental health issue. Psychology Association, the American Psychiatric Association, the APA, has been trying for years to make it so that doctors have to have psychological testing before they can prescribe even antidepressants. Because antidepressants are very dangerous for bipolar people, alone, to have antidepressants. You may think, why? It depends on the bipolar. There's some that it just doesn't do anything, and that's great. Some it makes their highs a lot higher because, they already started at a higher place, so their highs can reach even higher. And unfortunately, then it does stop working because it makes you crash worse. Because the higher you go, the lower you get. And get off of me, cat. Okay. And as you can imagine, that is not a good situation. Sorry, I'm moving away and I'm uncomfortable. So it stops working, when in reality, it is working, it's just not in the way you want it to. What are you doing, Remy? You want to be in the camera? Hello, Remy. Sit, Remington. Yes, Remington, what do you need? I know. You gonna say hi to my people? Say hi. Remy. Say hi, Remy. Remington. Children. But, let me just sit up. Okay. See, my Markiplier calendar's hung up. What, Remy? Come here. Come here. You goofball. But, so that's an issue that APA has been having for many years. But of course, me, as a psychology student, I wasn't even graduate at the point. I'm like, psh, I've read all about bipolar. I know I have it. There's no need for testing or anything. I'll just take medication. Whatever, you know? What are you doing, cat? When you... They're being weird. Now Steve's joining in. Hello, Steve. Steve, look at the camera. Steve. Thank you. He knows he gives me a kiss. Yeah, so that's... Jeez, you make me lose my train of thought, cats. Well, that's something they've been fighting for a long time, but of course, you know, I was like, I know better than that. And I had never heard of people taking multiple medications for the same disorder, which is something they don't really teach you in school. Maybe they do in master's program, I don't know, but they don't in undergrad, at least at the university I went to. And so I thought of it as something like, you know, I knew you would take multiple medications if you had, like, schizophrenia and bipolar, you would take a medication for each. Well, I hadn't thought about someone taking 2 different medications for the same disorder. But I mentioned to my psychiatrist that you know, I was on bipolar medication for a while, but it made me feel worse. And she mentioned apparently that's insanely common. There are some people who makes it perfect, evened out, and everything's great. In really rare cases, it makes your depression, you know, not be as low or high, however you want to phrase it. You're not as depressed, but your mania doesn't go down any, or it goes down very little. That's a lot rarer. But the most common, apparently, is your mania goes down, but your depression does not, or only slightly changes. So that, you know, defeats the purpose. People would think, you know, a lot of people want to take medication to get rid of the sad times, and they really don't want to get rid of the mania because mania feels amazing. It took me a long time to actually try to get medication for this because, I mean, my depressive states were so low that I wanted to die all the time. But my manic states always made up for it because I'd have unlimited energy, I'd run around, I'd get chores done, I would draw, I would write stories, I have a lot of videos on my channel, I'd do everything, I'd get new pets, everything was perfect, you know? I'd go bankrupt in like 2 days now. It felt like it, so why would you want to get rid of that? But it's very dangerous because, you know, get in a lot of trouble, got broke real fast, didn't sleep, didn't eat, just until you basically passed out. And when you woke up, you were the lowest of low depression. That's how mine tended to flip. And so when that happened, I stopped making videos. You guys can probably see my channel. I'll make a whole bunch for like a week or 2, and then nothing, and then come back for like maybe 1 or 2 sometimes, and then eventually for that week or 2 again. So that's how it tended to go. Unfortunately, so apparently the most common thing for people to do is to take a mood stabilizer to lower the mania, and an antidepressant, actually, to make the depressive states not as bad. So you'd reach that average, or, you know, slightly above average or slightly below. But, you know, instead of being, like, a range just like this to this, you're more of like this, or like this. You're still not that flat line that most people have, but you're pretty close, and that's great. You know, it's a lot better than what you were. Well, I have to have my Markiplier calendar center now, don't I? That's not intentional, I just keep moving around. But yeah, so 2 medications, which is something I never would have thought about doing. So it's interesting, to say the least. But on the 7th, I have a doctor's appointment to discuss which medication to try. If any of you guys know medications that are good choices, or ones that are typically covered by insurance, go ahead and tell me. That'd be great to know. But unfortunately, I can't say which one will work for me, because everyone, you know, different ones work for different people. And, you know, haven't tried any of them really, so I won't know what works for me. It'll probably be a lot of trial and error. My counselor said that there's some people who have trial and error for years and years and years. There's other people who the first medication works fine, they never have any issues, never have to raise it or anything, it's just perfect. And I'm hoping for somewhere in the middle. Maybe only 1 or 2 medications, or having to raise it only once or twice. I would love if I never had to change anything, just boom, perfect, everything's great, but I doubt that. And a lot of times it's pretty expensive medication because the stigma around bipolar, and I'm sure the chemical balance to lower mania is a lot harder to perfect, because you're making people less happy, but you're trying not to reach them in insane lows, so you probably have to be very careful at balancing the medication. Unfortunately for some people, they still hit that, which is why they have antidepressants. So that's the thing there. But that's the story for what's going on there. Glad to update you guys on that. Now the interview that I had, when did I have that? I had it on Thursday. So by the time you guys see this, it's Saturday, I believe. Yes. I forget. I'm trying to think of how long it takes to actually post these videos, because I'm filming this. Technically, it's 3 a.m. right now, but for me, it's still Friday night, because I don't usually go to bed until 6, 7 a.m. I'll have to go to bed a little early today, just because I have to wake up by 10. So you're probably going to bed by, let me do my math. 4:45 at latest. That sounds so early though. I don't want to go to bed that early. I don't know. I try to at least get 6 hours of sleep. Yeah, but so I had my job interview though on Thursday, and I think it honestly went really well. When I came in there, they only really wanted to talk about my Ghana trip, which I mentioned on the resume. My mom kind of added it on, and I thought, whatever. They were very interested in my Ghana trip, because there was 2 people interviewing me, and apparently one, his wife goes to Kenya every year, and helps them make bracelets and such, and teaches them how to do that. And then she collects all the bracelets and sells them in the United States and sends the money back to them to give them some sort of independence, which is pretty cool. I didn't do that exactly, obviously, but so he's pretty interested in African things, which is great. And the other person there was very interested in the fact that, I took all that time studying the language and such before going, instead of just, barging in and embracing my culture, which is great as well. They explained that this job is a floater job, which means in the nearest 9 counties, they said counties, though they used cities as examples, so it probably meant cities, and they just said it wrong. So 9 cities in the county is probably what they meant to say. I will be going around when someone's sick or on vacation. I will be taking their spot and seeing their patients. I also have some patients of my own, though for the most part I'm a floater, so all around and such. They say they try to schedule it to where I have 5 to 6 hours of work a day, face-to-face with a patient, and the rest of my work day will just be me writing reports about what happened. Now, what exactly is my job? I will be going to each person's house sometimes, or sometimes they would come to my office, whichever the case may be. I would talk them through basically making sure things are going okay. So did you see your therapist today? Or how is that medication working for you? Do we need to up it? Do we need to lower it? Basically, kind of like a psychological nurse is what I'm thinking of it. Because you're not really doing all the counseling, but you're more of preemptive things, like, do we need to up your thing? We need to up your medication? Do we need to up your visits? How can we get you to your appointments? Is there a way we need to schedule this? And they did say most of the people there are typically low income, so that's why typically you go to their house because they don't have transport. They're going to try to angle me from ages 3 to 17, mentally ill. Though they said sometimes, of course, because I'll be filling in for people, I will get adults as well. They said very, very rarely there's seniors, but adults, do happen. I did understand it a little wrong. As I said, it's typically, I thought it was typically depression, anxiety, the ones that are easier to treat. And apparently for the preteens, preteens, 17 and younger, the most common is operant defiant disorder, ADHD, and they said for the 17-year-olds, there's a few who have bipolar, early onset, which is interesting for me because at 17 I was told, I can't have this, I'm way too young, you need to be at least 20 before you get it. And a lot of people were like, no, you have to be at least 25. So that's interesting to figure out that some people can just get diagnosed and need the help, which is great. And they do say that it gets worse as you get older. So you start help and medication at a younger age, it can prevent it from getting worse, which I think is good. I think it's very good. They said with adults, it's typically schizophrenia, bipolar, and depression. They did warn me, in a lot of adult cases in particular, that the schizophrenic and bipolar, especially the schizophrenic, all face my angry patients. And not because schizophrenics are more violent or anything in that situation, but because a lot of them are court-ordered to seek help because they cannot function in society. There are some schizophrenics who can, but a lot of them can't without proper counseling and stuff like that. So they said if you face any violent people, it's typically going to be the schizophrenics and the bipolar who are forced to be there. The people who are depressed are typically the kindest people because they want to be better. They come of their own free will and they just want to be helped. They just want to be helped because, all the people need help, but they typically be the more of the ones who are willing to get help. Like, even in bipolar, when you're in a depressive state, you're more willing to get help than when you're in your manic state. Because you're manic, everything's perfect. Why would you need help, So, depressed people are typically going to be the least angry, I guess, about getting help because they truly want it. Whereas anytime you force someone to do something, whether it's court-ordered or just because, you have dirt on them or whatever else is blackmail, they're not going to be happy about it. Even if it's something that they know is good for them, they're not going to be happy about it because they're forced to do it. Well, so the job's a little different than what I thought. I won't be actually working in the mental hospital itself. I'll be more of going around and checking up on people who are outpatient, and talking with them if they think they need to be inpatient or something. Just basically saying, how is your treatment going? How can we make it better? Talking to them about medication and stuff, because it is very hard to see a lot of these doctors, and they're very expensive. Pretty expensive, and then it's like you can see them once every few months sometimes. It's very hard to get an appointment. So, in this case, they don't have to make an appointment and struggle to get one just to increase their dosage. They can just talk to a caseworker, and we can, try to increase their dosage, or lower it, or perhaps change the brand they're using to work better with our insurance, or things like, I don't know about most medication, but I know for depression, there are different types. Like, there's some that are MAOIs, monoamine oxidase inhibitors, which basically prevent your body from getting rid of the happiness, the happiness genes, the serotonin and such. And then there's selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, which basically prevent your body from taking it away, because your body releases them, and they're either taken up for later, or they're destroyed by the oxidation. So one prevents it from being oxidated, and one prevents them from being uptake, so they're longer, you stay happy longer. whereas the other one makes it so that you may not be happy longer, but there's more times you're happy. And it affects each person differently, of course. So perhaps making them switch between those two types, you know, things like that. Basically, what's going to work best for this person, without them having to pay all that money just to see, you know, the doctor. The doctor. I made it sound like Doctor Who or something. Well, so I'm kind of going to be a psychology nurse, is kind of how I view it, which is interesting enough. But I think it went really well. They said they would tell me within a week and a half, if I had the job or not. Which, the best part is that they're going to contact me either way. A lot of places, if you don't get the job, they just don't call you, and you're left guessing or wondering. But at this place, they said if you don't get the job, they do tell you that, you know, sorry that you didn't get the job, you know, keep applying, etc., etc. You know, they actually let you know that you didn't get the job, which is great. I feel like I was talking forever, and it's only been like 21 minutes. Oh, man. It's been an exhausting day. I've been up since about 6 a.m., so... It's about 3:30 right now, so it has been 21 hours straight at this point. Yeah, I think that's right. I don't know. I'm tired. And tomorrow I have a very, very long shift, which is... What I hate is that they always give me the long shift on the hard days, because Saturdays are always hard to begin with. And then when all the new ads start. So, working during the day is very hard, because you have to deal with all the people, and then at night it's very hard, because you have to deal with still a lot of people, and you have to take down all the old tags, put up all the new ones, and somehow recover the whole store, which is pretty much impossible. It's one or the other is how I've had to do it. But he's putting me coming in, you know, at about 12, which means I'd have all the morning issues during the day with all the busyness, and I'm staying till close, so I would be doing all those issues at night. And he's been doing that the past few weeks. Sometimes he'll come in at 2 or something like that, but he's making it earlier and earlier, and he's, you know, really am hoping that I get the other job, partly because of what it is, but also partly so I don't work at Dollar General. It'll be weird if I do, though, plain simply because I don't go back to places that I used to work at very often, unless, like, someone else is with me, but I don't go back there, especially if I know someone who's still working there. If they have a whole new staff, I typically go. Like Spencer's, I don't have as much issue with anymore, but I'm still kind of weird about it. And that's because I recognize all the staff and they don't recognize me, because the last time I worked there was when I appeared as a girl. So that was... It's kind of weird, but Dollar General, I've worked there for so many years. I've been to like every store, the point that I don't like even going shopping at other stores, even though, you know, I still work for the company. It's just kind of awkward for me, because it's like, they know me, you know. So, maybe if they get all new staff, I just feel like it'd be really weird to go visit the store and they'd be like, you left us, and I'm like, yeah, can I get some, I was gonna say cigarettes, but I don't buy cigarettes. That's the only time I'd have to ask for something. What are your deals today? You know? Oh, man. I need to speak to a manager. No. Well, it'll be interesting, that's for sure. So. But, those are the two big things I need to update you guys on: the interview and my testing results, which I don't have them actually printed out yet. The person was going to my counselor was going to speak with the tester this afternoon, or I guess yesterday afternoon, Friday afternoon, actually apparently right after my appointment with her. She's going to go talk to her to, they'll talk over the results, but they did release that, the person who did the test did release, I do have bipolar. They just want to talk about what steps to take. But medication was definitely one that is always recommended, is what they were telling me. So, I'll see what else they recommend, or if there's anything else they found. I know she also wanted to test for PTSD. So maybe I have that, maybe I don't. I don't know. But, we'll see. We'll see what the results actually say. I'm getting very impatient, and I know I just saw my counselor today, but, like, I really want to see my doctor, get my medication, to see my next appointment, to see what the actual paperwork actually says, you know? Like, I'm like, I want to see it now. Well, I won't see either of them until the 7th, and it's like, you know, I want to see it now. Well, A-Fest is coming up, if you guys remember, the 17th to the 20th. I will be there every day. I asked off, like, back in May, so I'm getting these days off. They haven't told me yet, but I better get these days off, because I bought my tickets in January. So, you know, I've had these tickets for a long time, and I asked off as soon as we were allowed to, because we can only ask off a few months in advance. So I better get these days off. Unfortunately, a coworker of mine is going to be out of town, out of state, the 16th through the 22nd. So the time my con also is. And usually when one of us can't work, the other one covers. So I feel like there's going to be a big issue there. The boss is going to probably try to fight me to make me stay, because, you know, plane tickets are more expensive than con tickets, even though I asked off first, and I asked off a long time ago, etc., etc. But, I'm not saying he can't go, I'm just saying they better hope, I hope they find someone else to, cover our shifts, because I need to go to con. Oh man, I can't, I hate working, and I just really need a break mentally. Even a day off isn't much help, but the whole weekend off would be amazing. And I get to see all my friends again, that I haven't seen most of my friends in, like, since December, even before December, because I had to work in December. I haven't seen a lot of my friends since last summer. It's been a long time. So, a lot of my friends I only see during cons, so I can't miss a con, you know? I want to see my friends. But, we'll see how that goes. I really am looking forward to that. I haven't really finished any of my cosplays. I really kind of forgot about them. I haven't really forgot, but, like, I was like, oh, I'll do it later. And now I'm like, I still don't even know what I'm going to cosplay as. I'll probably do Hawkeye, because I always do Hawkeye. And I got some new gloves for him, you know, the archer gloves and such. Who else I'd go as? I'm not really sure. I was going to do as a Uton, but the blue body paint I bought is very bad. You just go like that and it wipes right off, and you're like, well, that was helpful. I'm not sweaty or anything. Imagine if I was sweaty, it would just be like dripping down my face probably. Which would make it not very good. Because it's Texas and I'm going to be sweating. But, yeah. I don't know. I'll probably just wear old cosplays. I was going to do a Bill cosplay, Bill Cipher, and I got the coat. But I'm still trying to find a shirt underneath. I want a yellow button-up shirt. And I'm still trying to, I got the top hat, got the eye patch. Still trying to get a good wig. I may end up just dyeing my hair that way. Maybe. Oh, I feel like I'd mess up so badly. I'm not used to doing two separate colors, you know. I feel like I'd mess up. So a wig might be the best bet, but, we'll see, I guess. I need a cane. Of course I need a cane. I already have the book, the journal, which I may use instead of a cane, I don't know. But, yeah, so probably do that one, and I'll probably do my Hawkeye. For the other days, I'm not sure. I'd love for you guys to come up with ideas for me. Maybe I'll go as Auntie again. That was a fun cosplay last year. I really want to cosplay Connor from, you know, Become Human. But my friend who was going to help me work on the jacket, you know, we made the plan. We're going to work on the jacket together, and then anytime I try to contact them, they're busy. So I don't know how to sew or anything, so I don't know how. Maybe I'll be able to do it, maybe I won't. I don't know, but I'd really love to make that jacket. I posted on Facebook asking for help, but no one really responded to that, so I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll be surprise you guys and do a corner. I feel like if I groom the hair right, I can actually do his pretty well. I can totally do that curl, can't I? He has that floof. Yeah, I could probably do it. If I just actually have it groomed that way instead of waiting till it like dries. But yeah. So those are my plans so far. Those are my test results. Those are my interview results, I guess. That's all I really need to update you guys on. So cosplay ideas are always welcome. And TFCom signing off. Bye.